You are joining Making a Difference with Melissa Clark, a show that shares the compelling stories and voices of well-known and everyday people who change the world in big and small ways. Enjoy our guests, call in, or just listen to be inspired. For this show was made with you in mind. Please join us every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our special guests. And you can listen to our recast at www.melissaclarkshow.com.
Dedee Pfeiffer can be seen on ABC's hit show Big Sky that airs every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Central. We dove into so many topics, from her animal advocacy, furthering her education, her sobriety, and her hit show, that we had to turn this into a two-parter. Enjoy this week as we discuss her love for animals and back to school. We are here with Dedee Pfeiffer of ABC's Big Sky. She plays Denise Brisbane. She works with her brother-in-law, famous writer David E. Kelley. She is a mother, a recent college grad with her degree in social work, specializing in homelessness, substance abuse, and mental illness. She's a huge animal advocate and in rescue. She's quite the lady. I was happy to interview her for Pet Lifestyle magazine. I got to know Dedee in our conversation, and she's really larger than life, but she's so down to earth. Dedee, we are so happy to have you today on Making a Difference, and that's what you do. You make a difference in so many ways. I'd like to start with your animal advocacy. You and I spoke, and you've been this way since you're a kid. Tell us how animals make you feel.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Dedee, thank you.
The show that's named Making a Difference, I gotta be on.
That's right.
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I never felt understood. I always felt like the oddball out. I was overweight, so I was made fun of. And real identity issues, like a lot of children I think have. But animals, I don't know, they just got me and I got them. They were really simple. People were complicated, you know, and animals were really simple. They were like, hey, you know, give me my space, respect me, love me, depending on what the animal is, you know, because some are like, hey, I'm not into ooey gooey, don't be hugging me, I'm a reptile, right?
Right, it's right. Because you've had iguanas before in your life.
One was a, can I say cuss? Can I cuss?
Sure, go ahead.
A bastard. Okay, like, it was frickin' Frack.
Yeah.
Frick was really cute, and then they were brothers. And he was really like this really chill iguana, and then Frack was just he would gang up on Frick, and I'd have to jump in there, and I got 2 different tanks, and yeah, he'd whip me with his tail. He was a nasty one. But, you know, again, he wasn't going to be cuddled. He was like, I'm an iguana, I'm a reptile, so I had to respect that. So anyways, to answer your question, animals always got, to this day, animals, I just get them, they get me. And I believe in the whole Mother Earth thing, that our planet is alive. Mother Earth has water and plants, and the animals are a part of that. We're a part of that. Right now we were talking, and I have this Canadian seagull out there waiting for me to feed him. I named him Gilligan. He's got a friend named Skipper, and then there's Gypsy. I feed all of them.
That's been going on for a while, because you and I spoke, I believe, a month and a half ago, and you made friends with them there. You're like, wait, I got to feed my seagulls.
Well, actually, girl, I'm about to get kicked out of here because the neighbors appreciate Mother Earth's gifts to us.
It's so fun.
And I feed them because I'm away from my children, I'm away from my babies, my fur babies and my feather babies. So they started coming to my balcony, and I started feeding them. And I promise you, I've done Instagram videos with them, and they're explosive. They should get their own Instagram account. But they make me not want to jump off the balcony from isolation and feeling alone. And it's fun to create like voices for them, you know. And I know they're looking at me like, this is a crazy woman. I'm from the States, you know, because I'm in Canada. But like, look at how much fun I have just talking about these street birds.
And it's fun listening to you talk about this.
Yeah, and there's one who keeps coming back every day. He's like my little buddy. He comes and looks at me, and I look at him, and he looks at me. I'm like, look, there's stalking rules in this country. You're stalking me, and
Dedee, you're on set right now. You're working on the set of Big Sky, so you're away from home. You have to quarantine afterwards. So you've been away from home for a while.
I think 6 months, 7, 8. Yeah, it's been a long time with the boundaries closed, and yeah, I mean, right now I'm in my bat cave.
Right.
But I only go to the set. I come back. I go and get COVID tested, which is a drive-through on the set.
Right.
It's a week. We're asked to really just not go anywhere where there's people. So it's quite isolating. And that goes hand in hand with why I've become friends with any bird that comes to my balcony and given a name and personality. Oh, I got also pigeons and ravens.
You are too much.
And red-headed popcorn baby birds. They're little ones with little red heads. They're like, and they go around. I call them my red-headed popcorn baby birds.
Well, we're glad that you have some company over there.
Yeah. My
You
parents
have to.
institutionalized me. They're like, okay, I think she's going from like the cat lady and the dog lady, the iguana lady to the bird lady in Canada.
You're the best.
I was a kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just love that they're Mother Earth's gifts to us.
Yeah. Tell us about the time where you and your siblings went to a garage sale and they came back. Was it Rick, Michelle, and Lori? They came back with some Barbie dolls and a toy. And what'd you come back with?
I can't remember which one of us all went to the garage sale, but I do know this, that I was the only one that came back with a duck.
With a duck.
And I did this cardinal no-no to my German dad, North Dakota, the whole thing. And he said, you go give that duck back to Ray. And I said, you can't return it. And it was from garage sale. I knew I'm going to get smacked. And he didn't. I think that my dad was very much like me, deep down inside.
Right.
And he went, all right, then bring your little duck, come here in the backyard. And we built a homemade a pond, and I fed him, and I named him Peeper, which was original.
So sweet.
Beep, beep, until the duck got big and started chasing the little dog through the doggy door and would run through the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was funny. My dad and my younger sister thought it was funny. My mom did not think it was funny. Dedee Pfeiffer was like, bleep, bleep, get that duck out of here.
Yeah. Oh,
so
my.
So I was always that one, always coming up the driveway with a stray dog or a cat or anything that was, and then I started doing that with people. So I became a social worker. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. You have a few rescues now. One of them is a Rottweiler, and this is your 5th in your life. Tell us your theory behind Rots and working with children. You would never let the animal next to your young boys, although they're in their teens now, but when you did have dogs, you never put them together. And I really like that because that's how people get hurt.
Yeah, it actually makes me feel, I feel bad because I think that for the most part, most people are, they rescue these dogs or they get them as puppies, whatever, the working dog, Rottweilers, Pit Bulls, the ones with the working dogs.
Right.
They're misunderstood. They're very protective, but all dogs, when they're on the ground, if you were to go down there with them and look at their point of view, that's their territory.
Sure.
That's their territory down there. Our territory's up here. That's their territory. And I had some really smart animal people around me just explain to me the basics of respect and territory, and that animals are black and white. That's
right.
it. They're very simple. Things are either good or they're bad. They have no shades of gray. And if they can't put that thing that they don't understand into a good category, it goes right to a dark category. I don't understand. I'm going to defend. I'm going to attack, bark, cry, whine, bite. These are all most of those are warnings before they get to the bite. Some just bite. But that's instinctual. That they don't mean to do that. So my whole thing is understand the animal, respect that. And when your kid is crawling on the ground, you're asking for trouble because now you're putting them in a dog's territory.
Right.
So I never did that. I just thought people were like, oh, my dog would never bite. And I don't know that.
No.
I mean, people do things that they say they would never do.
Right.
Okay. We don't have to fall down that rabbit hole. Right? So why would you instill your child trusting with an animal? I know we want the dogs and the kids to all be together. I get that, and I love that. I just think there's a way to do it, to be responsible.
Sure.
Because the dog gets euthanized, otherwise doesn't understand. It was just instinctually behaving, and the kid gets their face bit or worse. So I think it's just about educating yourself on those dogs. Because, for instance, a poodle's going to bite too, but a poodle's going to bite. But when a Rottie bites, it could be a death bite. It's because the power of the jaws, but it's still a bite. The dog is still saying, "Hey, I don't like it. I don't understand this. So I'm going to attack," or, so.
What advice do you give to someone who's thinking of getting a Rottweiler or a working dog, but they're a little afraid? I mean, they're beautiful animals and they serve a purpose, a big purpose.
First thing you don't need to do with a working dog is to teach them to be aggressive. That shit it's counterintuitive. They already are a powerful, strong dog that when loved, they're going to protect you forever. They're like a really good boyfriend, hopefully. Well, I don't have one of those, but if I had one again, hopefully he'd be really protective over me and vice versa, right?
Right.
And with all my children, I'm mama bear, right? So you don't need to teach an aggressive working dog to be protective or mean. They're already going to do that for you just because they're going to love you. Right. So that just doesn't make sense. So don't teach it to be aggressive. I would actually go the opposite. I would, train it so that it knows who's alpha, which would be the owner. Kids should also train it so they're alpha. I just would also read up on it, read up on the breed.
Sure.
And especially if you're rescuing, you don't know what you're rescuing. Like one of my Rotties just hated brooms. About time to go in the backyard or maybe go put him in my bedroom for a minute while I use the broom. Yeah. Because it was going to be triggering for him, and I never got bit, of course. But I thought, he's having a reaction to a broom.
Animals are amazing. They teach us patience, kindness, thoughtfulness, calmness, love. I told you about my two guys here, girl and guy, but it's an amazing, beautiful relationship. And thank you for all you've done throughout your whole life for rescuing all sorts of animals.
Wildlife in
cockroaches, whatever.
Did you tell them about how I illegally would rescue wildlife in
Oh God, yeah, I didn't. If you want to go there, let's do it.
I didn't know it was illegal to rescue wildlife in LA. I didn't know until I just, listen, if a deer's on the side of the road and it's dying, I'm gonna pick it up and put it in my truck and go take it to a vet.
Have you ever done that, Dedee?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm not doing it from Canada. I don't know what the rules are. Although there was a seagull that had a messed up foot. So I was going to call my animal rescue friends and ask them how one does that in Canada. So I know in LA there's rules. I just took the wildlife. I've had deer. I've had seals in my car. I used to.
Wow.
There was an owl next door, a baby owl that fell out of a tree. I've saved rattlesnakes. You name it. Anything that needs a little help, I'm going to help them.
Were you ever afraid though, like to get bit, or did you care about yourself at the time, or you weren't really thinking about it?
Yeah. The rattlesnake was a little tricky. He was in the middle of the road and somebody had clobbered him, but he was still alive. And I thought, people are going to keep running over this snake. This is messed up. This is not the way it's supposed to be. Right. And I have nothing to do right now. I'm just going home and drop my boys off at school. So I pulled over and I happened, don't ask me why, I had two brooms in the back of my truck. To this day, don't know why I had two brooms. Anyways, I had two brooms, and I thought, well, this is handy. So I took the brooms and took the snake and brought him to the side, and there was a hole, a snake hole, and he went down in there. And I figured if he was going to go to the light, that's how he should do it, in there, or he could heal in there. But he shouldn't keep getting nailed by cars. Yeah. It didn't feel right to me. His soul, the little guy had a soul, and it needed to be either healed or go to the light in the hole, Yeah. It just took a second, and I thought, hope I don't get bit. But again, if you educate yourself on how to handle these animals, like people who do alligators, they don't just jump in there and start wrangling an alligator. They're going to get hurt, right? Hopefully they watch me. I like to watch people who are better at it, who are savvy at it, who know what they're doing. I watch these kind of crazy shows. So
love it. You're such a good egg. You're a good egg. God bless you. You had a conversation with your sister, Michelle, regarding, she encouraged you to go to school. You wanted to further your education. And you had me, my mouth was dropped when we were talking on the phone. You're just so humble and kind, and you love community college. And I went to a community college, and I think it's amazing. I went back later in life, just like yourself. Tell us about your experience with your community college.
Well, that is a really special story because it's so funny. People are like, you graduated your master's of social work from UCLA. That's all you need to say. That's all people want to hear. And I stop them and they say, wow, that's not true. That's actually, to me, that's not impressive. You know what's impressive? There is no way I could have gotten to UCLA in my 40s. Yeah, it's a 10 years journey. I'm 50. I just turned 57.
Happy birthday.
Quarantine in my back caves. And so in my 10 years ago, I started this academic journey. I had not a clue what I was doing. The industry I felt like wasn't being loyal back to me as loyal as I was to it. I really wanted to help people on a larger level. And my sister's like, hey, go to college. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get one of those things called a degree. Not a clue of what I was doing. And clearly my sister had no idea what I was doing either because I graduated in 1982.
Right.
Born in 80? Anyway.
1980.
Oh, this is what I'm trying to say. No computers, no phones, dinosaurs pretty much were still walking around. But thesis statement, algebra, what? Like, huh?
I know.
So I walked up to the nearest community college, walked in and said, hey, I need to talk to somebody about getting like a degree. So they go, oh, you want a counselor? So I walked in there and they go like, hi. I go, hi. I go, I want to help people. They said, oh, that's nice. What degree do you want? And I go, I don't know. You tell me. They're like, that's not how this works. You tell us. And I went, I don't know. And they're like, a psych degree? I said, sure. So they gave me some piece of paper with some classes. They said, when did you graduate? We're probably have to do an assessment on you to see where you are academically.
Yes, yes.
They were like, this woman was not even a second grader. So I had a lot of prerequisites. Yeah. And I had not a clue. Like the whole thing, I had no idea what I was doing. Every counselor helped me. They helped me discover I had learning disabilities. I thought growing up that I was just stupid. I was put in the classroom with Bobby who ate paste. Yeah. Now I, to this day, love the Bobbies who eat paste out there. Right. I was one of those in the, honestly, they call them the group 1, 2, and 3. Yes. We were always group 3. They might just call us the stupid people because that's basically how we felt and how we were treated.
It's true.
Yeah. So I went through my whole life just assuming that, you know, I was not intelligent, just dumb. And when they did an assessment on me, they were like, oh my God, you're actually really bright. You just have all these learning disabilities. Yeah. And so with the help from the community college and the disabilities office, I had a note taker. I had extra time when I took tests. They encouraged me to always reach out to my professors. And my journey was amazing. And they knew I was a mother, single mother of 2. They knew I really was right-brained. My left brain was not even developed yet. So they appreciated that. And I was always the oldest one in the classrooms. And it was a great journey. And so it was like 4 years to get my AA, 2 years to get my bachelor's of psych in another community college. And then from that and all of those amazing people helping me got me to UCLA to do a 2-year graduate program that took me 3 years because I took a year out to get sober. Hashtag sober life. Yeah, I'm in recovery almost 3 years.
Oh, God bless you.
Yeah, a lot going on here with Ms. Pfeiffer.
Peete, I'm telling you, this is why I wanted to have you on this program. You're so open and so down to earth, and this is totally going to help our listeners. Thank you.
I really want to people to know that they're not alone because I felt alone for 50 plus years. Yeah. And it's so funny because I've always wanted to help people and help animals, and yet I kind of forgot about home base.
Right. That's right. And that's what happens all the time.
I never understood when on the plane when they said put the oxygen mask on yourself first before your children. I remember thinking that doesn't even make any sense to me. I'm always about my children and other people. I would always put that on other people before myself. Yeah. I had rehab to figure out what they meant by that. Put the darn thing on yourself first because I'm no good to anybody else until I'm got my feet planted, my head on straight, and then go that way, right? I didn't get that. And I finally, in my 50s, understand that. And now it's like I have a rebirth in my 50s. So I want to tell everyone out there, you're never too old to get sober. You're never too old for recovery, whatever your addiction is. Yeah. You're never too old to go to school and learn and get tested. You probably have a learning disability. I bet you $5 you're not, My son was struggling like crazy. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. I had him tested. Sure enough, he has the same learning disabilities I do, got him some extra help, and now he's doing really well, and it's not so difficult. Right. Yeah. And so.
Because he's not being pressured, right? So he's getting an extra time and he can do the best that he can to his ability.
Teachers know, oh, Maximus has a learning disability, so he's going to need a little more extra time on these projects, these heavy projects. He's got a little bit, some anxiety going on there. He's got a processing issue, which is what I have, which is one of the comprehension and a process. Yes. And so he processes differently. So he's going to tackle his work different than the other children, so we need a little more time to process from brain to hand to thought to,
Of course.
So, and they get that. So, and it took me to jump in and be active in his journey and talk to his teachers and say, hey, first of all, thank you guys so much. You guys, thank you. You got a lot of kids going on in there. And I just need a little story about Maximus or Braxton, Braxton first, but smart boy, but he's going to need a little more help. We got him what's called a 504 plan.
Yeah.
Well, that's a freeway. 504 plan. I'm dyslexic too.
Okay.
504 plan, which is not an IUP, which costs the school a lot of money.
Right.
Accommodations, so he has a fighting shot and a chance. And then my job is to make sure they don't feel like they're different or less than or damaged or different. It's like, wait a minute, well, okay, you can be different. That's okay.
That's cool.
Hey, listen, I wouldn't even, there's no way I would have been able to get past my first degree had I not had to embrace that me and a whole bunch of us don't think the same way everybody else does. And that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to take the same test. And I'm going to get an A, but I just have to get there, take a little bit different path and a journey.
That's key. Please head over to mycollegeguide.org to get a step-by-step guide for furthering your education. Be sure to call your local community college for information.
Are you looking to better your life but need a little more motivation? Contact leadership and life coach Ben Pappas at coaching@benpappas.com. That's coaching at BENPAPPAS.com. Making a Difference is sponsored by Preferred Health Magazine. Please visit www.preferredhealthmagazine.com today and subscribe.